Immortality for the Ordinary. The Rise and Fall of a Mortal's Journey to Immortality's live-action adaptation. There are stories that whisper. There are stories that roar. And then there are stories that endure, woven into the collective imagination so deeply that when a new adaptation emerges, it doesn't just premiere, it detonates across the cultural landscape. When news broke that Immortal's Journey to Immortality, the legendary xianxia novel by Wang Yu, was getting a live-action adaptation, the question was immediate. Would it truly honor the masterpiece, or was this simply a marketing pyrotechnic, burning bright and fading fast? The source material is nothing short of foundational. Published online between 2008 and 2013, spanning over 5 years of serialized storytelling, the novel's 2,446 chapters and 12 volumes built an intricate universe. An economy of cultivation levels, spiritual roots, sect politics, mythical beasts, arcane arts, rare materials, all mapped with obsessive detail. At its heart stands Han Li, a poor village boy who stumbles into the Minor Seven Mysteries sect as a lowly, barely recognized disciple. Han Li is no born genius, no favored son of destiny. His aptitude is unremarkable, his lineage empty of glory. In the brutal ecosystem of cultivation, where deception is currency and survival demands calculation, his path should have ended before it began. But fate delivers him a strange, palm-sized vial with the power to bend natural laws. Through painstaking effort, disciplined caution, and an unflinching willingness to bide his time, Han Li breaks shackles both mortal and cosmic, transcending his limitations to ascend to immortality. It's a saga not of meteoric rises, but of incremental victories. Where other heroes blaze with inherited talent, Han Li grinds his way forward, his victories hard-earned and never guaranteed. Wang Yu's prose, especially in the early arcs, was slow burn to a fault, detailing sect hierarchies, alchemical methods, and cultivation bottlenecks with a scholar's precision. Many early readers abandoned it. Those who stayed were rewarded with a payoff only a patient craftsman could deliver. A story that respected their intelligence and invested in a protagonist who fought for every inch. This mortal flow archetype, heroes starting with nothing but their wits and will, would go on to influence an entire subgenre of Chinese web literature. The hype machine ignites. The live-action version was riding a tidal wave before the first frame aired. The novel had logged hundreds of millions of reads during its run, staying in the top 3 most beloved originals for 2 years after completion. The animated adaptation, produced by Bilibili, had already cemented itself as a cultural touchstone, with nearly 4 billion views and 12 million followers. By the time the live-action series opened pre-orders, it had racked up over 5.13 million reservations on Youku. When it finally premiered, the metrics exploded. 8,326 heat points on day 1, the highest debut since 2024. Within 72 hours, it had crossed 10,000. On other platforms, it dominated trending lists. But the honeymoon didn't last. The split in the cultivation world. Within days, forums and social feeds were split into warring sections. One side praised the production's ambition. The other accused it of committing narrative heresy. Some viewers lost sleep, not from binge-watching, but from fuming over the liberties taken with the original. And yet, the adaptation had its undeniable merits. The show's chief writer, Wang Yu, who had also co-directed the animated series, brought continuity in tone and structure. Iconic scenes from the novel and animation were lovingly reconstructed, from Han Li's early clash with a 6th-ranked beast to his famously pragmatic retreat strategies. What worked was the thematic core. Han Li's defining ethos of defying heaven to rewrite fate remained intact. This wasn't a messiah figure blessed with divine gifts. It was a survivalist in a cosmic shark tank. His journey still began with nothing but the instinct to endure. And the camera framed the world through his mortal eyes, grounding the high fantasy in relatable struggle. The show also preserved Han Li's idiosyncrasies, like his unglamorous cultivation grind, heavy reliance on pills, and almost comical fight-or-flight reflex. Spoiler, it's usually flight. The farming subplots, with Han Li tending spiritual herbs, lent a surprisingly meditative rhythm that contrasted sharply with the kinetic battle sequences. Craft and spectacle. Visually, the production went big. With a reported 200 million yen budget, the team shot on location in deserts, national parks, and grasslands. They deployed 200 drones for large-scale formation effects, blending physical landscapes with digital artistry. The result was a visual identity that, at its best, evoked a painterly Eastern aesthetic. Fight choreography in early episodes leaned into grounded, close-quarters combat before evolving into more elaborate displays as Han Li's power grew. Signature set pieces like the blood-soaked Forbidden Grounds arc showcased diverse fighting styles across 7 major sects, each rendered with distinctive magical effects. The Han Li of flesh and blood. Then there was Yang Yang. Known for his polished, sometimes overly idol-like screen presence, the actor took visible risks to embody Han Li. He shed 7 kilograms, abandoned stunt doubles for dangerous sequences, and traded immaculate hair for a deliberately disheveled look. Most importantly, he transformed his gaze. Gone was the sparkling, untouchable leading man aura. In its place was a steady, calculating stare, measuring risk, weighing survival, scanning for exits. His performance charted a believable evolution from green recruit to seasoned survivor, balancing stoicism with flashes of vulnerability. Cracks in the foundation. But even the most committed lead performance can't plaster over structural flaws. And here the live action stumbled. The early pacing dragged, front-loading lore-heavy exposition from the novel's opening volumes. Key emotional beats were truncated. Han Li's farewell to his parents was over in minutes, while filler scenes, including gratuitous bathing sequences and melodramatic romance subplots, bloated runtime. Fan outrage zeroed in on 2 main grievances. Character dilution. Han Li's defining traits, caution, skepticism, relentless self-discipline, were watered down, replaced at times by generic romantic lead behavior. Script surgery gone wrong. In cutting and rearranging events for TV flow, the writers excised connective tissue that made the novel's logic and stakes so compelling. Supporting performances didn't help. Female lead Jin Chen drew criticism for stiff, awkward delivery, and some secondary roles felt hollow. The editing compounded issues, with choppy scene transitions and visual effects that occasionally dipped into video game territory. Even the ambitious location shoots weren't immune to critique. The choice of snow-capped peaks and conifer forests, aesthetic departures from the genre's usual misty mountains and ornate pagodas, left some viewers feeling disoriented, as if the series had drifted into Western fantasy territory. The lesson in the ashes. The collapse of Immortal's journey to Immortality's live-action momentum is a cautionary tale for an industry chasing the instant noodle formula. A famous IP, an A-list star, a blockbuster budget. These alone don't guarantee longevity. What endures is respect for the source, for the audience, for the craft. A single actor's commitment can't save a production riddled with narrative gaps. Neither can special effects distract forever from a thin script. And yet, to dismiss the adaptation entirely would be unjust. For all its missteps, it offered moments of genuine beauty, scenes that breathed the spirit of Wang Yu's original, and reminded us why Han Li's journey matters. If approached without purist expectations, it's a series you can savor slowly, like its protagonist's long, deliberate climb toward immortality. So, have you walked alongside this mortal yet? And if so, did you find the journey worth the miles?